You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey Gates fans, I have got this week's prediction edition for all the movers and shakers in Fairmont Crest. We're going to talk about Dani and babies and revenge and Martin and Smitty and cheating and all kinds of stuff. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and hey, if you're not following us, please click that subscribe button. We've got predictions for Dani and Hayley, for Leslie and Nicole, for Martin and Smitty, for Hayley and Bill, and also for Doug and Vanessa. Let's get right into it. Our first prediction, Dani freaks over the Hayley baby. Is she going to try for a baby of her own with Andre? So Tuesday this week, Chelsea is stunned to find out Bill and Hayley are having a baby moments after Bill found out from Hayley at the club when she said she couldn't have any alcohol. She's pregnant. On Wednesday, Chelsea runs to tell her mom Dani about the baby, and then Dani confronts Hayley and thinks she's lying. So Dani demands that Hayley pee on a pregnancy stick right there or admit that she's lying. On Thursday, Dani's ranting at Bill and warning him that kids with Hayley is not what he should be doing and he better be careful. That's the same day Naomi is ranting at her dad about knocking up her former best friend Hayley. You know, every time Dani seems to be moving on and getting a grip, there's something happening with Bill and Hayley every time that kind of pushes her back to the brink of bad behavior. Dani, being the mother of Bill's two daughters, was something that was uniquely hers. So Hayley being pregnant kind of would supplant that and put her more on equal footing with Dani, and that seems to be really bothering her and making Dani jealous. And if Hayley is indeed pregnant, you know, there's nothing much Dani can do about that, but will she act out? You know, we know she can go nuts about Bill. Case in point, gun at the wedding. So will Dani decide to get back at him and make a baby of her own? Would Dani actually try and talk Andre into knocking her up out of jealousy? I mean, that would be wild. All right, our second prediction, Leslie lashes out and is Nicole's life at risk. So on Thursday, spoilers have Jacob just continuing to dig into Laura's accident, the same day that Leslie once again tried to get Ted in bed with her. Leslie is so certain that if she can get Ted to have sex with her again, then she'll have him right where she wants him. And then Friday spoilers have Ted desperate to get back into Nicole's good graces, but Leslie is going to do everything she can to stop that. And in the promo, Eva uses a hide-a-key to get into Leslie's place and steals the motorcycle helmet and the gloves which tie her mom to Laura's accident. And that's the same day that Kat gets a big piece of evidence tying Leslie to Laura's accident. So, you know, if there's no way for Leslie to get what she wants, then she may become even more unhinged than she currently is, which is pretty unhinged. Last week, she was being super creepy wearing that Nicole outfit, and she might pull that out later with Ted as part of her seduction efforts, which would be pretty ick. And if Eva turns on her and Leslie's facing a prison stint for the assault on Laura and the potassium attack at the hospital too, well, Leslie may lash out in unpredictable ways. And one way that she knows to hurt Ted is to go after Nicole. So will Ted's estranged wife be in danger from nutcase Leslie? I would say we got pretty good odds on that at some point, that these attacks may go from just demoralizing to physically problematic. Our third prediction, Martin cheated on Smitty the night the bad thing happened. Tuesday, spoilers have Smitty continuing to poke at Martin about the secret that he's keeping. And Smitty said Bill told him they need to stay on the same page. And Smitty's very suspicious about what's going on, but Martin keeps making excuses and sidestepping. But we all know he did a bad thing. We just don't know exactly what it was. So on Wednesday, Martin goes over to confront Bill, who's still with Hayley, at the country club. And Martin is quite upset that Bill is dropping these hints to Smitty about what he did. And he calls Bill out. And I just don't think this sketchy lawyer is going to appreciate that. And Martin's playing with fire is what it feels like to me. So we could see Bill drop a dime on Martin and just flat out tell Smitty that he needs to talk to his husband because the guy did a bad thing that one night a few years ago, and Bill had to clean up his mess. We know it's something really bad because Vernon is paranoid about it, and Bill has been able to use whatever it was he cleaned up against Vernon and the family, and it's big enough that he was able to leverage it to force them all to come to his wedding to Hayley. So whatever it is, it's huge, and it's a very dangerous secret that Bill is sitting on. And I suspect that Martin was out with another man and cheating on Smitty, and then things went sideways and someone got hurt, and Bill had to clean up a very messy mess, and that's how he's got leverage on them. And I think Martin's about to find his whole life turned upside down. Our fourth prediction, Hayley's pregnancy pushes Bill's illness to the forefront. As I mentioned above on Tuesday, Hayley tells Bill she's pregnant, and Chelsea finds out, and then she tells Dani, and then Naomi finds out and confronts her dad. So word spreads fast. Meanwhile, last week, if you remember, Bill was telling Hayley that he keeps having numbness in his hand, but he's not concerned, and he said it wasn't a big deal. But for a man his age, it is a big deal, and it could be a symptom of a very serious underlying illness. I've done a little bit of research, and there's some autoimmune things, there's other things it could be. And with many illnesses, stress can really exacerbate them, make the symptoms worse, bring things to a breaking point. And so Bill may find the stress of expecting a baby at his age, and Chelsea and Naomi and Dani all freaking out, everybody being doom and gloom about it, might stress Bill to the point where his illness comes to the forefront and he has a medical crisis, a major medical crisis. It'd be kind of ironic if Hayley's pregnancy pushed Bill to a point where he's somehow incapacitated and she winds up changing diapers for him and the new baby. And I will say this, because Procter & Gamble sponsors Beyond the Gates, and we keep seeing things like those Febreze bottles in the background. P&G actually owns a line of adult diapers. Those are called Attens and not Depends, but let's hope they don't push that whole product placement thing to that point and put Bill in them. That would be a little awkward. Wouldn't be very sexy, I'll say that. Our fifth and final prediction, Doug gives Vanessa a monogamy ultimatum. So last week, Doug was quite upset to see Vanessa and Joey getting really close after she helped him cut a real estate deal that seemed sketchy. Thursday of this week, spoilers, have Doug losing patience with Joey, who's been intentionally running him into debt and then pressing him to either tap into Vanessa's family money or launder money through Vanessa's real estate company to pay him back. So at the same time, Joey has been very actively trying to get into Vanessa's pants. To be fair, you got to take a number like at the deli because those pants are pretty busy. And on Thursday, a very upset Doug does something risky where Joey is concerned. And also this week in the promo, Joey brings Vanessa to the casino and he rigs the game so she wins a whole pile of chips to get her all excited. And then Joey takes her to his office and rips her clothes off. They're going to do the deed unless somebody stops them. As we know, Doug and Vanessa have an open marriage where she can go get frisky with whoever she wants and he can go do his thing, which, as we know, his thing is gambling. And it seems like, though, he's had enough of Joey, and he may tell Vanessa that she can't sleep with Joey, or Doug might gamble on the future of his marriage and tell Vanessa that he wants them to be monogamous. I'm not sure if that will work for her because she's gotten used to doing what and who she wants, but it sounds like, once again, Doug is gambling with their lives, and this time the stakes are the future of his relationship with Vanessa.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.